There's been a lot of talk today about another war with Iran. Do you think that that's coming?
I think it's very likely because Netanyahu is absolutely intent, and he has been intent for nearly 30 years. It's nearly 30 years since he first became prime minister in 1996, in dragging the United States into a prolonged war with Iran. And he dragged the United States, and it's a shame that the United States government went along with it. But he dragged the United States into a war with Iran just recently, and it's extremely dangerous. And of course, he wants to do it again. It's been part of Netanyahu's policy to pull the United States into repeated wars. This is why this whole relationship is so completely dysfunctional. Netanyahu, back in 1996, with American political advisors, actually came up with a document called Clean Break. Clean Break is a very strange but very clear statement of what has trapped the United States for nearly 30 years. Clean Break says, well, Israel's never going to compromise with its Palestinian Arab population in its midst and in the Palestinian lands. It's going to control all of those lands, and it's going to control or expel or kill or ethnically cleanse the Palestinian population. And that's going to create unrest, and it's going to create a militant reaction. And then what Clean Break says is, yes, that's going to happen, and we will go to war against any other country in the region that supports opposition to Greater Israel, that is, Israel's control over all of Palestine. And there's just one footnote to that. When Netanyahu said that we will go to war, what he meant was the United States will go to war for us. So Netanyahu has been the great champion of pushing America into endless wars for the last 3 decades. He was the big cheerleader of the Iraq War. People may remember that, or they can refresh their memories. A devastatingly wrong war sold on completely phony pretenses that Netanyahu cheerled. And one can even go online and find his testimony to Congress in October 2002 about how wonderful this war is going to be and how it's going to lead to a breakout of freedom throughout the Middle East. He's full of it, and he's been full of it for nearly 30 years. But he has had many wars in sight that he has actually dragged the United States into. The war in Syria, which goes on and started with Obama in 2011, assigning the CIA the task to overthrow the Syrian government, was again at Netanyahu's and Israel's behest. Absolutely extraordinary. The ongoing wars in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq, the recent so-called 12-day war with Iran, which was a disgrace and a great danger. Even the wars in East Africa, in Sudan, in Somalia, and in Libya were pushed by Netanyahu as that we need to overthrow regimes that support opposition to Israel's control over the Palestinians. And in 2011, just to take another case, because Obama did double duty that year, he went to war with Syria in a completely weird way of assigning the CIA the overthrow. But he also launched a war against Libya to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi. This was the Obama Hillary Clinton teamwork to drag America into more wars. This has its roots in Netanyahu's doctrine, which is we will control all of Palestine. This will lead to unrest. It will lead to militancy. It will lead to suffering of the Palestinian people. So what? But it will lead to challenges to Israel, and we will confront those by overthrowing the governments that support the militancy against Israel's control over Palestine. And the U.S. has played along until today. And I have to say, even though we saw just that tape of President Trump saying that, no, Israel will not annex the West Bank.
Did you promise leaders this week that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank? And is that something that you...
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop.
First of all, don't hold your breath, because we've not yet seen an American president for 30 years that has resisted Israel. And I am still fearful that Trump is the same, because frankly, what we have right now, and Netanyahu said so, Israel's involved in 7 wars right now. It's disgusting. They're all over the Middle East in war. They're in war in Gaza. They're in war in the West Bank. They're in war in Lebanon. They're in war with Syria. They're in war with Iraq. They're in war with Iran. They're at war with Yemen. And so far, the United States has funded, armed, and diplomatically supported all of this. And the United States has absolutely not, and in this government, and it's true of the previous ones as well, not said a word about the state of Palestine, which is absolutely key to peace. There needs to be a state for the Palestinian people, alongside a state for the Israelis. This is international law. It's absolutely obvious to almost every country in the whole world. But the United States listens to Netanyahu. And by United States, I don't mean the people, because just as you said, the American people are against all of this, by the way, by large majorities. This is not being driven by American public opinion. This is our American political class telling Americans what to believe, not what Americans actually believe. Americans want the United States to recognize the state of Palestine. The United States public opposes what Israel's doing by large majorities. This is the political class, but unfortunately it includes the White House and it includes the Congress, and it hasn't stopped yet. And the situation in the Middle East is explosive, and Netanyahu's working overtime to pull us into yet another war.
So we've done a lot of segments over many years attacking college. Most of them are not worth sending your kids. They're definitely not worth paying for. In fact, they're counterproductive. They're the source of a lot of this country's problems. But that doesn't mean that all colleges are bad. We've looked far and wide for good ones, and Grand Canyon University is near the top of the list. It's a private Christian university located in the Arizona mountains, the best part of Arizona. Grand Canyon believes that every one of us is endowed by God with inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Rights are not something that politicians give us. Rights are something they are sworn to uphold and defend. It's a totally different way of looking at the world. At GCU, purpose starts with service equipping students to affect their families, communities, and the world for good. Whether you're called to business, education, ministry, whatever it is, Grand Canyon University helps you honor that calling while glorifying God through your work. Real purpose in life. Over 340 academic programs offered online, on campus, in hybrid formats. Take your pick. GCU makes education accessible and is tailored to you and your goals. Whether you're starting fresh, you're going back to school to advance your career, if you're ready to pursue a degree and a purpose, Grand Canyon University, GCU, is ready for you. It's private, it's Christian, it's affordable. Visit gcu.edu today. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.